Believe it or not, it is that time. It's time to recap the month that was August of 2023. We are just flying through this freaking year.
Yeah.
It's September as we're filming the recap.
It's freaking wild, dude. It's insane. It's hot out. It's almost fall. Super excited for that. But let's talk about August, because it was a month. The first thing we talk about in these videos is channel of the month.
Yeah.
And this channel is a very unique one, but you probably know who he is.
Yeah.
And that's RGT85's secret channel, or separate channel, his stash channel.
Yes.
This is a really cool channel because it's RGT85 talking about things that he wants to talk about instead of Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. I really enjoy it because I really liked his channel way back in the day. And it's not that I don't like his current channel, and I get it. He's doing it for a living. He's got to feed the algorithm and all that stuff. But it's really cool on his other channel to just see him unbox wrestling figures or championship belts that he shouldn't have bought because, you know, he's our age and spends money on stupid shit like we do. I just really enjoy it. It takes me back to back in the day. He does full game reviews on old retro shit.
Yeah, like N64 stuff, like NES stuff. Yeah. It's basically all over the board.
Yep.
You know, he's covering what he wants to cover. And that's just nice because I like him. You know?
Yeah. And it just reminds me, you know, back when I fell in love with his channel way back in the day, it was a lot of retro stuff, a lot of Sega stuff, and RGT85 Stash covers a lot of that stuff and not the newer stuff. So I like it.
Which is really cool. Now let's move on to video of the month. This one is really unique because there's not any dialogue. It's just music. It's the best-selling video games of all time on a channel called GOTG, I think that's right, GOZHDA.
Yeah.
It's this really weird channel where it's just graphs and then it shows over time, like it's really cool.
Yeah, the one in particular is the best-selling video games, which you already said, but it's just fascinating to watch. You probably won't be super surprised by what you see in the video, but it's just crazy when those game changers come out, how they just surpass everything, like, instantly.
Yeah. So, like, you know, when Mario came out, it became to the top, and then Tetris, and then freaking when Minecraft came out, you're like, holy shit.
Game changer.
It's just a really fascinating video to watch and be like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, obviously knew it was best-selling, but not by that much.
Yeah.
And then sometimes games, like, do really well and then just stop. You know, so it's really fascinating. That's like his entire channel. It's just stuff like that. It's not all about video games, but it's just these cool graphs and information that are fun to watch.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's just hard to take your eyes off of it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a fascinating video for sure. Game of the month. Now, this may be tipping our hat or our hand, if you will, on some future content, but you know the Xbox 360 store is closing in 2024. And there's a game that we scooped off of that we can't stop playing.
Yes. You know we love our Burnout games, and there's an arcade game, Burnout game, called Burnout Crash. It is so stupid, and it is so fun. It's literally just a top-down Burnout game that's
just
all
the crash events.
Just crash events, and it's so stupid. There's weird songs that are like famous songs in it. There's weird power-ups. You can unlock different cars. It's addictingly fun.
It is. It's kind of freaking hard, too.
It is. To get like certain... We're going through and like trying to 100% it, because that's what we do in the Burnout games.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun to be like, okay, let's just play it for a little bit. It's easy to get up, pick up and play.
Yeah.
It's a great arcade game. And if you love Burnout, I think this game was like, what, $4?
It was like $4.99.
Yeah, dude, that's so cheap. This game is fantastic. We've been playing it all month.
Yeah, we definitely got our money's worth out of it. As we keep cooking through this thing, comment of the month, which I thought was really, really cool and very stand-up from this company. We did that retro shooter video with the Pandora box, and we didn't like crap on it per se, but we were pretty honest about it and couldn't come out of it with a strong recommendation. It's fun. It's kind of cool. They thanked us for making the video and gave some tips of the guns work on PC as well, which we haven't tried it. I assumed that they did, but we haven't tried that piece of it. I just wanted to see how it worked out of the box.
Yeah.
But I thought it was cool that they acknowledged and thanked us for making the video.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that, you know, because they're a smaller company trying to, you know, promote and grow. And they said that there's even an update for it, so like the Lycan games will be in 4.3 if you plug it into Wi-Fi and stuff. So that's kind of cool. Like, and I was just like, oh, that's awesome that they, you know, took time out of their day to watch our video.
Yeah,
like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the video performed like shit on our channel. Don't know why, but I still don't know how the algorithm works.
No,
but
I don't get it.
They didn't like it that we did that, but. Beer of the month.
Beer of the month was nothing.
Draugust.
No drinks at all. I took the whole month off. We took the whole month off of drinking. But it is now September, so
And
we got
we used August to stock the fridge.
yeah, we have a fridge full of beer.
Yeah, so there's probably going to be some beer reviews happening again here in very short order. I think we got a couple episodes that are in the can that we filmed in August, so maybe not there, but late September into October, just getting you teed up for the winter, fall months. We're going to be doing some beer reviews. Oh, hell yeah.
Just wait for the October beer. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
The pumpkin beers.
Yep. Right around the corner.
Now let's move on to what's spinning. Not much. I've just been listening to a lot of, miscellaneous background music.
Yeah.
And just while I'm doing things. But a few days ago, Royal Blood just put out their newest album. I think it's called Back to the Water Below. I haven't listened to it entirely, but I've listened to it in chunks.
Yeah.
And I like it. I love Royal Blood, and it just has their typical freaking awesome sound. And so I've been listening to that a ton. Yeah, you just got me some new records that I'm going to be spinning, some Beck albums, but I haven't listened to those yet. Yeah.
I don't have anything in particular either. A lot of just stuff on in the background. I've been doing a lot of house projects, that type of stuff. So I haven't had that time that I usually do where I maybe light up a cigar and just put on an album. Hasn't been that way, but I have been to a lot of concerts, so that's been spinning in my ear pussies. But other than that, that's what's going on there.
Now let's move on to Boner Dog of the Month, and I have one.
Oh, baby.
I have
Let's
one.
go.
Okay, so bad parkers. I live in an apartment complex, and so when it's fully parked, there's not many places to park. And this happened multiple times where people will park like sideways and block okay, so where am I going to park?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. And you go, this guy's blocking and this guy's, and it's like, what the? Park in the lines. It just sucks.
Well, I think it's, there's this human element, I think, where people think they're the center of the universe.
Yeah, and they go, well, I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck everybody else.
Yeah.
When you get home late from doing something, or you're at a concert and you're getting home and you're tired and you're just driving and you think there's a spot and you go, I can't fit in it. It is so frustrating.
Yeah.
And it happens, not even just at my apartment. It happens when you go to the store. It happens.
Yeah.
People just don't care, and it's so annoying, dude.
Think about your fellow humans.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's not that hard, dude. Lines are drawn. Just look at them. I don't know. It just drives me nuts.
That one notches on my badge as well. So what's on in the game room?
Yeah, what is on? That is a good question. Not much in the game room, per se, but we've been watching a ton of movies in our free time.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun. I've just been cranking through DVDs lately. I bought a huge stack at Jay's, which is a local, hobby shop, and just been watching at least a movie a day, which is so fun, dude.
I've been doing the same thing for whatever reason. Well, I think it's because it's been so hot out.
It has been so hot.
Because usually this time of year, I'm not consuming a lot of TV. I'm outside doing things.
But it's miserable.
Yeah. So I watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that I've been going through. So.
Yeah, I just watched a few days ago A Quiet Place, which is I've seen it before, but fantastic. Django Unchained, I've seen that before, but fantastic. A lot of movies that I've seen before, but I finally now own. So then I watch it before I put it on the shelf. So that's always fun. And it's just nice. At the end of the day, just put everything away and just put on a movie and just kind of escape for a little bit. It's a great way to end the day. And
absolutely.
As a fellow filmmaker, I guess I just like learning from watching movies too. And I just love it. It's a nice way to relax.
It's fun to film episodes like a monthly recap when you have a frog in your throat.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the coughing and all that bullshit. I'm sick. I don't know what's going on.
It's allergies.
But it is time for some monthly highlights. I think probably the biggest thing is that movie you did for the 48.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
I did the 48-hour film festival for Des Moines. That was at the beginning of August, and then there was screenings throughout August. It was video game related, so you guys might like it. Check it out. It's called Game Over. It's pretty sick, pretty awesome. It is a lot of work.
Yeah.
You have 48 hours to write, film, edit, and get it done.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things,
Fascinating.
that you could be like, oh, I wish I would have spent more time on this, or, but you just don't have the time. So you just got to go, this is it. But it was really fun. I was pretty proud of it, so that was cool. And then I just started my third semester back at school.
Boom.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty cool. Freaking growing up, dude.
Yeah. Concerts. Been to a ton of concerts personally. I've seen Phoenix and Beck and Pixies and Modest Mouse all in Chicago. Next weekend, I'm going to see Cracker in Kansas City back-to-back nights.
Back-to-back. That's going to be so sick.
And then the tour's over. And I'm ready for it to be over.
Oh, Cracker's the end?
Yes, Cracker's the end. But yeah, I've been hitting a lot of shows.
Unless something pops up.
But all that being said, we've both been super busy, but we've still been beating video games. We went to that Monster Arcade.
Yes, there's a really cool... I wouldn't say bar. It's a really cool arcade, I guess, in our area called Monstercade, and it's very horror monster themed. and it's all free play games. It's like $15 to get in, so that's not bad. It's kind of small, but they do have a lot of games, and we went there and we beat freaking games, and that's awesome. We beat 3 games. We beat this really shitty Ghostbusters game.
Yeah, it's like a run and gun.
Dude, it was.
It's so repetitive. At
terrible.
first glance, it's a Data East game. You would think, oh, this is really cool, a Ghostbusters run and gun. But every level, it's just redundant.
There's 10 levels that are the exact same.
Yeah.
And it's just, but we were like, let's just get.
We got it done.
And then we played LA Machine Guns, which is a fantastic light gun game in the arcade. It's just so badass because it's it's awesome. Like every in between levels, you're like, my arm hurts from the vibration. And then we played Sunset Riders.
Yeah.
And we beat that. That game is really cool.
That's a great arcade co-op for sure.
It's I'm pretty sure it's a 3-player arcade.
Yeah, up to 3,
which is fantastic. And that's always fun, just going to the arcade and like, let's just stay at this cabinet until we beat it.
Yeah, and that game's really cool on Genesis and Super Nintendo as well in its own right. But in the arcade, it's just
the arcade.
Notch.
The arcade is a little bit different, but I think it's better. It is so much fun.
It's a good time.
And then the last category of the monthly recap is the Patreon Q&A. You guys asked us a bunch of questions. We'll try and answer them kind of quickly.
Yeah,
but there is a few, and we like to talk.
So, let's see how it goes.
Let's jump into that.
All right, who's on your Mount Rushmore of 90s/grunge?
This is a really tough question. So I'm guessing he's talking bands, maybe, or maybe just single people. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Nirvana fan. So
they got to be up there.
I think they got to be. So I think that's at least one of them. Kurt Cobain, one of them for sure. I think Lane Staley's got to be up there. Alice in Chains.
Chris Cornell.
Oh, dude, yeah, his voice is fantastic.
I'm not a huge Pearl Jam fan, but you probably got to have Eddie Vedder up there.
Yeah, I don't like Pearl Jam either, but yeah, he was Impact.
Yeah.
There's just so much. Oh man, that's kind of tough. But I think Nirvana, Alice in Chains for sure.
I think you gotta maybe it's kind of maybe a stretch, but I think like Alanis Morissette. I mean, there almost is not that album Jagged Little Pill was so huge.
That's a fantastic record too. That's a great.
And it was on everything, right? It was rock enough to be on rock radio. It was pop enough to be on pop radio.
Yes. It was like a blend of genres.
It's one of those CDs that moms were into it, kids were into it. It was like a universal.
Yeah, that's a great pull, dude.
I kind of want to maybe think Beck, but Beck, he was super relevant in the 90s, but he's done so much like throughout the 2000s and the 2010s.
And also like I feel like his music is like kind of just like this in genre.
Yeah.
Like you could have like a really big rock album, and then it's like a little bit softer rock, and then so I wouldn't call him like grunge, but he's pretty freaky.
You kind of think I'm thinking too like Green Day and the Chili Peppers. Yes, they were big time in the 90s, but they've
continued to do
just as much, if not more, out of the 90s than they did, and they did great shit in the 90s. I mean, Dookie was an album everybody had. Blood Sugar Sex Magic was huge.
Fantastic.
One Hot Minute.
I will say, Peppers, like both of those bands, now aren't the greatest.
Yeah,
they put out a few songs here and there that I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. But Green Day nowadays is not very good.
Yeah,
but like back in the day they were fantastic. That's really tough because there's so many. Like I mean, it's a smaller band, but like Local H, but they're also relevant and doing stuff today. So, that's tough.
It is tough.
It's. I just really like 90s.
We kind of answered it and kind of sidestepped it. I don't know.
Did that answer the question?
Robert Burns asks, what are we doing for Halloween? Are we doing anything specific? Are we decorating the game room? We usually do something. We usually change kind of our live stream stuff to be October themed. I don't know about specific videos.
We haven't really talked about it yet because it's still early September. But we'll probably decorate the room because we normally do. That's what we do for Christmas and all that stuff. We'll probably pick like one horror game or maybe 2, and that's what we'll stream for the month. I think we did Luigi's Mansion last year. Luigi's Mansion 3. Maybe? I can't remember, dude.
Yeah, and the game room, we probably will decorate it, but we're kind of also talking about moving the game room, so who knows?
Who knows what's going to be like in October.
It may be a deal where we have to film a bunch ahead, so it doesn't make sense to have the room decorated. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. And then for like specific videos, I don't. Every time we do like horror related videos, they always do terrible. Especially once Halloween ends and October ends, then they're not relevant at all. So it's tough. We'll probably mention stuff here and there, and I don't know.
Yeah.
But we haven't looked at that far.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens when it comes.
Jay Dab, I asked, he just recently started getting into our PS3 videos. He's asking, do we think that we'll see some new light gun hardware this gen? I don't know. We kind of are. I mean, you seen the retro shooter thing that we did.
Yeah, that's at least something. You know?
And we know the send-in light guns are out there. I don't know if there's enough of a market, though, for a PlayStation, an Xbox, or a Nintendo to really go into it. I am kind of surprised that, like, Sega hasn't done something. Maybe a collab with Namco or something to get something out for their new House of the Dead games. I mean, we had the remake. Scarlet Dawn still hasn't seen a home
Scarlet Dawn
version.
Dude, I want to play that again. It's finally in Des Moines because they built a Dave & Buster's here. But it's such a niche thing.
I know.
And it's like not as popular as it used to be. I know Arcade 1-Up is releasing a Time Crisis cabinet, so that's kind of cool. But like for home console, I know like they got the VR stuff, but even that is not very big. And
it kind of feels like it's so close that it could happen, but I don't think it will.
And I don't think
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't think people care. Like the modern people playing modern consoles don't care about liking games. It's the people like us that care about it, but barely play the modern stuff. So it's a very niche thing. It would be fantastic if they released something that actually worked. And was actually great. But we luckily still have all the old stuff, so we can play that, and it works great. And
so close, but feels really far away.
Play it in the arcade.
Scepter asks about insurance. Should you get specialized insurance for your game collection?
That is a really good question, and the answer is probably yes. Have we looked into it? No.
No, I do make sure, though, that I ramped up because I currently rent, but my renter's insurance has enough of a buffer to cover my collection. I talked about it with my agent, and they got me in something that does cover collectibles. Okay. But it's within that plan. It's not like a specific collection insurance.
Yeah, I mean, because this is an entire room dedicated to a specific thing, It's just, so it probably would be smart, especially if you have a lot of stuff. Yeah. But I don't even know what goes into it and how because you'd probably have to categorize everything. Yeah,
which I've done a pretty good job of that. Obviously we have the video history and video evidence, but I also on price charting I'm not the best at keeping up on it, but I probably have 85% of my stuff cataloged.
That's smart, just so you have a somewhat idea of what you have. I think if you have a big enough collection, that's something you got to look into yourself and be like, is it worth it? It's tough, but it's probably smart, but it probably takes time and does cost money, obviously. Turbo asks, which movie feels and looks the best when watched on VHS? There's something about the darker, grainier image that really stands out in some movies. That's so tough.
It is tough. I really just kind of, and I've said this before on the channel, but I kind of like watching movies the best possible way you could have seen them when they came out, the way it was intended. So my mind goes to horror and like Jurassic Park. For some reason, I do like that grit, and it's a very rainy and dark movie.
It makes it a little bit more scarier. Horror movies in particular, especially old ones that came out on VHS, I think just make it a little bit more, I don't know, uneasy. Because when it's on DVD, it looks crystal clear. And it looks it's still scary, but having that just little, or the static a little bit, it just, that's uncomfortable, dude.
Yeah, that would be my answer to that.
I can't think of anything specific. Just movie. I just like watching movies that, on VHS that came out on VHS. I know they still sometimes put movies out on VHS, and I don't like that, but, the old movies, I just love on VHS. Tumo asks, did you catch SummerSlam? What were your favorite and least favorite matches? I enjoyed the rubber match between Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes. I did not.
I did not either. I'm so detached from the modern wrestling product these days. Yeah, I don't know. I knew it was happening. Didn't care to throw it on.
Yeah.
So I heard Cody and Brock had a good match.
Yeah, I heard it was a good match. I saw clips, obviously, online because they always post about it. But I just don't watch, I didn't watch that. I didn't watch the AEW pay-per-view that was recently that I heard was really good, and I think they set records with that.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, so I have no idea. I just like watching the older stuff.
Yeah. Just kind of stuck in a moment in time.
We have old wrestling on right now.
Royal Rumble 97, we're watching Chuck Palumbo pretend he's Razor Ramon. So
anyway. We like watching that. But I'm sure there was some good moments, So up next we got Mr. Plow.
Mr. Plow, have you ever heard of GABF?
GABFA.
Great American Beer Fest? I don't know. I'm just no.
Great American Beer Fest.
It sounds familiar, but no.
I don't even know what it is. I was like, gaff, is that a weird tuning of an instrument? But I don't know. Moving on, but Tony, what's one item from your collection across games, toys, nostalgia that you would never part with? That's a tough one.
Man, it would be really, really tough for me to get rid of Power Blade 2.
Oh, yeah.
A lot went into that.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive game I've ever bought. and we hunted and grinded for that. That's just kind of a badge of honor.
I think it's tough because my mind goes to like a console.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, if you're keeping a console, then you got to keep games.
Yeah.
But it's like I don't think I would ever get rid of my PS2.
Yeah.
Or my NES, just because I love those consoles so much, and there's so much nostalgia in there, and it's fantastic. Like I still have my original Slim from when I was a kid, so it's just like I don't play it as much as I should, but I still love that I have it, and it's. That's really.
It'd be damn hard to get rid of our CIB copy of Contra Hardcore too, just because of the memories of No Death running that.
Jackal, anything. When you start thinking about it, you go, "Oh, there's so much memories with this thing, with this thing," and it's all over the room.
Yep.
So, that's.
But if I had
tough.
to keep one console, maybe just for the universal way it can be applied, I'd probably go with my modded GameCube because there's some retro games on that too.
Yep.
And then I'd have tons of games, more games than I could ever play.
Yeah, a modded console would be nice because then you don't have to worry about having everything hooked up, and you have like a modded Wii, that has a ton of stuff. I just really think my PS2. Yeah. Like if my apartment was on fire, I'd run in and grab that probably. Yeah. Square Pegs asked, "What shows are you guys currently watching?" I've been watching a ton of movies. I haven't been watching a ton of shows.
You still working on that?
I'm still working on Mad Men. I've kind of slowed down a little bit, but I'm through season 2. I'm about to start season 3. It's so good, so fantastic. I've been watching The Simpsons a little bit that's a great background show. Yeah. Like when I'm like editing or cleaning, it's just a good background show. Other than that, it's just been movies, and it all over the board in genre too. Like it can be a rom-com, or like I just watched Notorious. That's a great movie. I just on a movie kick lately.
Yeah, I just finished up. Check it out, Dr. Steve Brule. It's not a very deep show, but it's really funny.
God, that show's so stupid.
I've been keeping up on the Jets Hard Knocks on HBO Max.
That sounds really good.
But other than that, I'm kind of with you though. I'm not into a specific series necessarily right now. I've just been watching a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably go through waves, so once I'll probably go back into a TV show wave eventually. But I feel like I don't have that much time. That's why I like ending my days with a movie. That's my little escape. Then the last question of the monthly recap Q&A part is Sean. He asks, what game or franchise did you play for the first time since returning to retro / making the channel and loved despite zero nostalgia? I never played Jack and Daxter, all these, until a few years ago, and yet I hold him as high regard as my cherished memories. That's a tough question, dude. Because obviously nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Yeah. And you love games that you played when you were a kid.
I would say for me, and I really don't think I had any experience with this genre. I was never a big fan of racing games.
Yep.
And meeting you, I don't know that I would have taken the dive into Burnout like you did. Yes. And Burnout Revenge is amazing, 3. And Burnout 3.
And then Burnout Crash.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Burnout, but that's a game that I played when I was a kid. I played Burnout 3 all the time as a child, and it was fantastic. Just the Crash, oh man.
That stands out to me because I would say those Revenge and Burnout 3 are like up there, probably top 15 games of all time for me now.
Yeah, those games.
And I had no nostalgia for those games at all.
Well, I'm thinking like Contra. I never played Contra growing up at all, but like Contra Hardcore is like one of the best games ever made. Freaking, it makes it Jackal that I love, and also because we spent so much time with them, we've No Death Random.
Yeah,
all like those games. But I didn't even know they existed when I was a kid.
Yeah, those may be for me too, like the newer Contras, like I say newer, but I knew of Super C and Contra as a kid, but I didn't ever play hardcore.
Yeah, and then you were like, wow, this might I think it's my favorite Contra game of all time. Like hardcore is fantastic.
It's badass,
dude.
and it's hardcore.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
But by doing the channel, we keep discovering more and more things. And like, what's that game on the PS2? Red Star. That was a great discovery on the channel, and that's like a fantastic game that I had never heard about. So it's just always nice. What's cool about being a gamer is like, you keep discovering things that you did because there's so many games.
For sure.
That's what makes it fun. And a game that you have no nostalgia for becomes your favorite game of all time.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Pretty awesome stuff. Thank you so much for the questions through Patreon. We really appreciate it. You guys care what we think about anything, let alone supporting us on Patreon and all that. But that is all we got for the monthly recap. It's been an awesome month. We had a lot of fun. Thanks for continuing to support, watch the channel. Had some highs and lows. Had some videos do really well, videos do poor.
Yep.
We're just going to keep freaking chipping away. We don't know what the hell we're doing, but we're having a good time doing it.
Yep, and it's finally September, so we can crack open a beer.
Yes, we can.
I can't wait to do that.
All right, guys. Hope you had an awesome August. Have an even better September, and we'll catch you guys on the next. Really appreciate you.